What is up, everyone? Welcome to No Life Digital, where we talk about tech, computers, audio, video, stuff like that. How's everyone doing? As you can tell, I got a new microphone. Hopefully it sounds good. I've been fucking around with it for the past 2 days, trying to really get it right. I was actually running it to my PreSonus AudioBox i2 DAC, and it just wasn't enough power. I literally had to crank it all the way up, and it still was just a bit too low. But then I remembered I had a mixer that actually has really nice preamps on it. So hopefully it sounds good. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments. Anyways, I want to talk about Panasonic, Sony, and Fuji. So it is CES time, and I've been kind of underwhelmed by some of the stuff that we've been seeing at CES. The 8K TV stuff is kind of cool, but nothing really like groundbreaking is really coming out. I don't care about, Google assisted robots. I'm done with that. That stuff is boring as shit. They don't work. They're crap. Enough with that. I want to see cooler tech. I want to see some new innovative things. Anyways, Panasonic finally announced they didn't announce it, but they announced when they were going to release it, and they just showed it off a little bit more at CES, and it was the and it was the S1 and the S1R, and it's essentially their first full frame mirrorless camera. So they have the GH5 and some of the other cameras. They're all mirrorless, but they are micro four thirds. This is their first full frame, and I was really excited about it because it's going to bring you 4K 60 frames per second. I believe it's got a 10-bit output, and I also believe that it has HDR capabilities. I know it has HLG photo mode, but I was hoping that it would follow the trend of the GH5 and be the first camera with full frame sensor with 4K 60 frames per second output with a flip out screen. And unfortunately, it does not. It has the tilting screen. Now, the tilting screen is fine, but at the same time, it's not fine. Put a flip out screen on your cameras. It's 2019. If your camera does not have a flip out screen, then I don't want to buy it, because all I'm waiting for is a camera that's like this but has a flip out screen. And until that camera company comes out and does that, I really am not going to upgrade my camera. I'm not going to buy any other cameras. And I know there are so many in that same boat. If I'm a Sony guy, I have my Sony right here. The reason why I'm not shooting this video on this Sony is because it doesn't have a flip out screen, and I don't want to have to set up my rig with the external monitor and do that whole thing. I don't want to do that. If it had a flip out screen, I'd flip it on, flip that bitch out, and start, filming. Now, with that being said, I have like 7 or 8 Sony lenses, a couple of them G Master lenses, very nice, very expensive lenses. I have 4 Sony bodies. I have the Sony a7S II, I have the Sony a7R III, I have the a6300, and I have the RX100 Mark V, right? I love all of those cameras dearly. Guess which one I use the most? The Sony RX100 Mark V, because it has a flip up screen. That's why I use that camera so much more than all my other cameras. It's just so much more convenient to shoot something really quick, flip the screen up, and you're good to go. The EOS R was such a promising camera because it does have that flip out screen. Unfortunately, the 4K is cropped at a 1.8 crop, which is just insane. There's just no way I can utilize that. And I'm already shooting in 4K on my other channel, so it wouldn't make sense to go back down to 1080p just so I can have a flip out screen. But if they are to release that camera with the flip out screen, with a mic jack on it, with 4K, without a crop, even up to 30 frames, because I don't really shoot in 60 frames, I shoot in 24. But even if it's 4K 30, I'm buying that camera. I'm selling all of my Sony gear, selling all of the lenses, every single little bit of accessory that I have with it, and I'm buying that Canon ecosystem just because I need a camera with a flip out screen. It is so convenient to just pop it out, be able to check if you're in focus, be able to check if you're in the frame correctly, make sure that your audio levels are good. You can all do that right in front of the camera. It makes it so easy. What I don't get is that the GH5 was a huge YouTuber camera, but it wasn't the kind of YouTuber camera that is for vloggers, right? You could vlog with it, but mainly it was for people who did talking head style stuff just like this. And there are hundreds, if not thousands of channels that do that on YouTube with the GH5. They set up the GH5, they get their little ring light, they flip the screen out, and then they can start going, right? They put a little Rode video mic on top and you're good to go. Now, if there was a full frame option for that, this camera would sell like fucking hotcakes. This camera would sell crazy, but they didn't do it. They put a tilted screen on it, and now no one is gonna buy it. There's nothing new that this camera offers that Sony and Nikon and even Canon don't already offer, right? 4K 60 is about the only thing that it can offer, even though the Nikon does it, right? The Nikon already does it, and it also has just like amazing 10-bit video output, and it also has an amazing lens array. This is a brand new lens system, so you're gonna have to buy all new lenses for it. It just doesn't make sense. And at this time, the only thing that could have separated this camera apart from those other full frame options was a flip out screen, and they didn't do it. They just didn't do it. It makes no sense. So I'm proposing this to you, Sony, Fuji, and Panasonic. Listen to me, and listen to me very closely. The camera that comes out that offers full frame sensor, 4K, even up to 30 frames per second, in-body image stabilization, an adequate autofocus system, a microphone jack, and a fucking flip-out screen, that camera is going to be the camera that everyone buys. That will be the camera where people will leave their current ecosystems for. I promise you this. I promise you this. So if you don't want to do it, you're basically just leaving it up to another company to come steal a large chunk of your customers, because this mirrorless space is super competitive. It just hasn't really locked anyone in yet. I've been using Sony mirrorlesses for the last almost 5 years now. I guess 5 years. And I'm completely willing to jump ship if someone else were to offer the same type of capabilities with the flip out screen. And no one has done it yet. No one has been able to do it yet. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck with either a webcam video where I can see myself in OBS, or I'm stuck with a fucking external monitor. And it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I cannot wait for this camera to come out. And I thought it was going to be the S1R or the S1, and it wasn't. So unfortunately, I am left disappointed. I will not buy this camera. I don't think a lot of people will. We will see what it's like with the sales. But I'll keep you guys updated. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and also subscribe. And also don't forget to head over to our website, nolife.digital. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.